What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here in this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, I want to talk about a topic that I think is probably going to be controversial for some, and I'm putting the idea out there because I want us to have a conversation. Not that I'm trying to convince you of anything or everything, but it is, if we're going to have, if we're going to be doing radical ideas here in Splinterlands and we're redefining what this game is overall, I think that it's important to consider this at the very least. And that is, I believe we should have some kind of permanent Soulbound summoners that offer 0 rewards. Now, where am I getting this idea from? For people who play Parallel, you'll understand that the way that they have the system set up is that you have a Paragon, right? Think of that as like a summoner in many ways, but it's a little bit, for people in Splinterlands, it's probably more difficult to understand. But if you're in Parallel, then you understand you have a Paragon. It is not something that you can buy, right? It's just something that you get to choose. They come with the game, right? And you get to choose one depending on whichever faction you're a part of. And then you play, right? You build your deck around that. So here, my thought process is we should have some kind of similar thing to offer people a chance to play in the free-to-play aspect of the game, right? So if you're using these Soulbound summoners, I don't believe that you should be able to earn. And most importantly, you should not be able to earn at all, because let's say you're playing, right? Let's say you're playing that you are using your Soulbound summoner, and you win a game, but you have like 5 or 6 of your other cards that are actual real cards. Now, again, you can play the game that way, but I don't think that you should earn if that summoner is the one that is active, even if you're using real cards, right? At the end of the day, this should be something that is enticing people to get the real cards. The summoner should only be there so that people have something to play with. Now, I also don't think that these summoners should be powerful at all. If I was going to put something out there, I would say, do one for each of the what's that called? I was going to say splinters, but elements, right? Each of the elements. Make them 5 mana minimum. Well, I guess make them 4 mana with no abilities, right? So they're literally there just to get your units out onto the field. Like that's all it's about. They're just there to get it out onto the field, and you are not able to earn with them at all. Now, what does this do? Okay, well, let's say somebody comes into the game and they have their 3,000 credits, right, from buying a spell book, and they start leveling up their cards, right? Overall, maybe they buy some summoners here, or maybe they buy some cards here or there, and it's like slowly and steadily. But if they don't buy any summoners, or their rentals run out, or they don't want to put any more money in, they can no longer have that kind of free-to-play experience. And I know maybe we only want the free-to-play experience to be limited, right? So it's just like, well, you're going to have a summoner at some point, right? Go rent one, go buy one, whatever the case is. But I think that you could probably onboard a lot more people that come in and want to treat it simply as a game by just having a free-to-play summoner. And again, I need to stress this, that anytime this summoner is used, it doesn't matter if you're using a bunch of other cards, none of them can earn, right? So you're purely playing because you enjoy the game and because you want, whatever that comes with, right? And at the end of the day, that could add liquidity, right? I don't think that would be abused by bots, because these accounts would be earning 0, right? These accounts would be earning 0 SPS throughout. Now, I guess the interesting thing, which I just thought about, is how much glint would they earn? Now, here's the thing. If you're using them, I think you still need to have some kind of glint, right? So that people can still feel like they have some kind of value. But maybe they give you like a glint modifier that's actually negative, right? So if you're using them, you get something, but it's not as high as if you're using an actual NFT, right? But definitely no SPS across the board, and maybe just like very limited glint. So the idea is, if people want to come in and they just don't want to spend money, like, that's fine. They can still play and be a part of it. And over time, right, the idea is that people will want to level up and slowly, build up their deck. But it could take time, and people don't have capital, especially not now, right? People like to, whether it's from an investment standpoint or whether it's from a gaming standpoint. My whole thought was is that we want it to be accessible for people to come in and have a completely free-to-play experience. And like I said, I'm paralleling, right? Pun intended. I'm paralleling the game Parallel, where you have people that can come in and literally play the entire game for free, go all the way up the leaderboard without ever having to spend anything. And if you give that as an option, Even, albeit it's going to be very difficult, right? Because if you just don't have any of the good summoners, like what are you going to do? You can play, but your chances of rising the ranks is not going to be fantastic. In the same way that over on Parallel, if you don't have some of the top tier cards, you're probably not going to be super competitive, right? But at least over there, they have, ghost card versions of even the top tier cards that you're able to earn. But I don't want to copy them completely. I'm simply just saying that there's an opportunity here where people could come in and have a truly free to play experience, offering match liquidity to everybody else, and then, have it not be exploited. Now, you could maybe look at it the other way around, where we've had issues with win trading in the past. If somebody wanted to come in and find that it was, if they found that it was like exploitable in the sense that they could just run a bunch of liquidity bots in Modern, for example, right? That don't earn anything, but that allow them to rise up the ranks a little bit easier. That could be something to take a look at. But at this point in time, with the player base so low, I actually think the team has become much more in tune with any kind of like win trading or, poor behavior, anti-competitive behavior. We've heard them talk about that publicly. I mean, I've even heard some things in passing privately. They've become much more attuned to it. So the earnings would have to be so good for someone to come in, spam the network with, I don't know, probably like 10,000 bots for free, right? These bots are running using power, using resources, using CPU. They're not earning anything just to get another couple of accounts like to the top. And those accounts would still need to have and own, right? Or rent all the cards and all the SPS in order to be there. The economics don't make sense to me. Maybe somebody smarter than me can come along and figure out a way to make that happen. But at this point in time, that doesn't seem like the biggest risk. So that's my pitch. I'm just curious to see how people would feel about that, to just have a 4-mana summoner, right? No abilities, nothing. It's just there. It's soulbound. You can't unlock it. It comes maxed, right? So you're able to play things right off the bat if you want to. It in that way, it encourages people to play at the highest levels already, because the way that we have set rentals now, you can go in and you can get like all like the level 1 bronze stuff, right? And it's like, okay, but that's like whatever. What if somebody wanted to come in, they have, access to all these soulbound summoners that are always soulbound, right? They're just there as part of the game. And they're like, you know what? Screw it. I think I want to rent some of these top tier cards that are fully maxed out and see what happens. Units, right? Not summoners. And all of a sudden they're able to play in bronze and they're playing max level cards against, the bronze bots or whoever else is down there. And they're quickly rising the ranks and seeing like, oh, wait, this card is so much better if I get it at level, 8, or if I get it at level 4. And so again, it just exposes them to the higher meta of the game faster. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like I said, I know that this probably won't be a popular take, but I'm just trying to think of ways in which we can engage new players to come in that maybe are just here for the free to play version and want to still experience the game, and then slowly convert them over time by exposing them to the higher levels of the meta. But that is all I have. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'll catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.